night. Let's talk heavy. Martin Bakole and FN Jabe. They was in there doing well, man. I like that fight. Might have been the best fight of the weekend, honestly. FN Jabe was he did a lot better than I thought he did. I don't know if that's an indictment on the brother Martin Bakole not being that good, or still some after effects for almost getting knocked out by old buddy and Joseph Parker. But Bakole. Did we overrate Bakole? Because Bakole is just, his defense kind of remind me of Joe Joyce. He's one of those guys that defend with his face, and maybe he just hit the right lick in Jarrell Miller. Because FN Jabway was looking like the second coming of Lennox Lewis in there last night. He was sniping Martin Bakole. And then I guess he would get tired because really being that big of a man sliding on the ropes all night, then Bakole would start getting off with his club and shots looking like George Foreman. Bakole would be getting off like George Foreman, and then beating him on the ropes, and FN Jabway would just be taking the abuse. He'd roll it and he'd take some shots here, but he had a hell of a chin. Then, the next round, Bakole, I guess he would get tired, fall to the ropes, act like he was, trying to play possum. And Martin Bakole would get back on that front foot again. And he would just start using his range, using his jab, using his right hand over the top. He'd throw a hook in there here and there. So yeah, he would start putting shit together. And how FN Jabway fought last night. That's how Canelo opposed to fight William Skull. And Jabway really wasn't loading up on his shots. And he's a heavyweight. They ain't really got to load up on his shots like that. But then Jabway really wasn't loading. He was just letting his shots flow. I think for him, it was him getting tired. He got tired. All right. And then Bakole would take over. And then Bakole would get tired. Then he would take over. And Bakole is really counting on his brute strength and his power to get guys out of there when, he needed to tighten up that defense. You see what happened with Joe Joyce. You can't just block punches with your face. You can't just count on your attrition and your durability to carry you, especially when you've been in the division for a minute. Especially when you've been in the division for a minute. So that's the crazy thing about it. But if it's any fight that pretty much constituted a draw, it was this one. It was literally back and forth. It depends, if I'm going to be technical and we talking about the true definition, I didn't score it, but we talking about the true definition of boxing, you probably gonna go FN Jabway was the definition of boxing. It's a hit and don't get hit. Then he got tired. And then Bakole would just brawl him and maul him, and he would hit Jabway with good shots, but then ring generalship came again and again. FN Jabway took those shots like a G. But what do I expect from I don't expect anything less from two Africans. They both had beards on them last night. But I don't really think Jabway was throwing with bad intentions, and nor should he. If you're going to move and slide on the ropes like that all night, which I had no issue with it, that was the right game plan to do, you got to pace yourself. You have to pace yourself. That's a fact. You have to pace yourself. You really do. You have to pace yourself, and that's what he was doing. He's taking his time. You ain't gonna put all your punch in one shot. That's why he found Bakole so easy. And then he wasn't just doing one shot; he was going 2, 3 shots. And Bakole was just letting him get off on it. If I had to say just from the naked eye, you know, I would probably say would gave it to. I didn't score, but to the naked eye, I probably would have gave it to Ajagba. You know, real talk. I was, it may be because I was impressed with F and Ajagba. I was very impressed with him. I was very impressed with him. I was very impressed with him. I mean, they did a great job in this camp, but they knew the danger. They knew the danger. They knew exactly. They knew the danger. They knew the danger that they was in. They know one mess up, it was a wrap. They know one mess up, and they could be going to that upper room. So shout out to them. Coach K did a great job. I think my man that used to be in Jared Hurd's corner, forget his name. He was saying some great advice. He was giving some really good advice. He was giving some fantastic. What's his name? Coach Flick or whatever. He gave him some great advice. Even in between, in the round, during the rounds, they was giving him some good advice. F1. I just thought, to the naked eye, to keep it real, I thought FA won. But Bakole did some savagery, though, in my opinion. I mean, he gave people what they wanted to see. When he got off, and Ajagba just didn't take the play away enough. So I'm fine with the draw. When he got off and he was throwing all his bombs and shit, and Ajagba would just cover up. and Ajagba would just cover up. He wasn't even trying to say, okay, let me catch him punching between the shots. Every now and again, he probably do it, but it's really what you preferred. And I think who did the cleaner work, it was FA, in my opinion. Bakole landed some shit, but FA landed some shit too. FA boxed. His boxing was clean. You know what I'm saying? His footwork was clean. The way he controlled the ring was clean. But, Bakole gave people the light show, the power show. It was no power outage dealing with Bakole. And to me, FA was doing some shit too. I don't think FA really was really. I don't think FA really was, trying to knock him out. But he just that heavyweight. You ain't really gotta, load up. In my opinion, heavyweight, you really ain't gotta load up. No, you really ain't got to load up in that way. So, but that was probably the best fight of the weekend that I seen. I ain't watched the Badu Jack fight. I'm like, I heard he won a belt. I ain't watching no cruiserweight. Not them cruiserweights. But yeah, I was enjoying that fight, man. I came here just at the nick of time. Just at the nick of time. So yeah, I mean, this was the fight of the week. I mean, I think on paper, most of us thought this was very, very high on the list. Tion Barboza, they sold they fight. This was a humble African war, and they went in there, man. I want to see it again. Now, according to my sources, FA Ajagba and Bakole are supposed to fight Egit Cabal. So I don't know if that shit happening no more. So probably not, but we'll see what happens and what they got up the sleeve for Egit Cabal. But yeah, this is probably the fight of the weekend. Oh, did Inoue fight yet? Man, they said at 9 a.m. Nigga, I was in the bed toasted. Okay, let's see. Oh, okay. The main card goes live at 10 p.m. Okay. Somebody told me this shit was gonna be on at 9 in the morning. Shit, I was toasted in the bed. I was, man, my head still spinning. Man, what a fucking night. But hey, let me know what y'all think, man. Thumbs up the video, share the video, subscribe to the channel. The subscribe button is the bell icon button. Hit all notifications, increase your chance to get notifications. We go live or drop video. Financially, want to support the channel. Cash App, $ CJ Good 313, Venmo CJ Good 313, PayPal link description. Hit the link tree, find the Free Game 89 channel. Find me on X, Instagram, Spotify, Amazon, Kick, Twitch, my Detroit channel, the whole nine, of Patreon. Peace.